March 22nd, 1933, Dachau, Nazi Germany. This is when and where the Nazi regime built its first concentration camp. A 15-minute train ride, 45-minute drive, or a long walk from Munich, the site was initially intended to intern Hitler's political opponents, which to be fair were numerous. Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, the dissenting clergy, communists, socialists, asocials, and other political enemies. Initially inaugurated under Heinrich Himmler's auspices, the Dachau camp's scope expanded beyond its original intent, eventually transforming into a place of incarceration for various groups, including Jews, Romani people, German and Austrian criminals, and later individuals from nations occupied or invaded by Germany. The Dachau camp system sprawled to encompass nearly 100 subcamps, predominantly functioning as work camps or Arbeitskommandos. These facilities were dispersed across southern Germany and Austria, forming a dark network of oppression and exploitation. By now you might be thinking, what does this have to do with Mercedes-Benz? Well, that, my friend, is the secret that this video is about to expose. So sit back, relax, and prepare to learn about the darkest secrets of the wildly successful luxury car brand Mercedes-Benz. Before we dive back into the forced labor camps, unjust imprisonment, and brutal torture, let's start with a brief history lesson of the beloved car company synonymous with elegance, innovation, and the art of making every journey extraordinary. Mercedes-Benz, a renowned German automotive brand, has a rich history that dates back to the late 19th century. The company's origins can be traced to the collaboration of two pioneering figures in the automotive world, Karl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler. 1886, Karl Benz. The story begins with Karl Benz, who is credited with inventing the first true automobile. In 1886, he patented the Motorwagen, a three-wheeled vehicle powered by an internal combustion engine. This patent is widely considered the birth certificate of the automobile. 1886 to 1900, Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach. Around the same time, Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach were working on developing high-speed engines. In 1886, they built the first motorboat with an internal combustion engine. Daimler's vision extended to placing these engines in land vehicles. 1926, formation of Mercedes-Benz. In 1926, the companies founded by Benz and Daimler merged to form the brand we know today as Mercedes-Benz. The name Mercedes was derived from one of Daimler's daughters' names. Over the years, Mercedes-Benz became synonymous with innovation, engineering excellence, and luxury, propelling the brand to the forefront of technological advancements in the automotive realm. In the pre-World War II era, Mercedes-Benz achieved several milestones, positioning itself as a leader in the automotive industry. Here are some key insights into the company's progress during that period. Streamlined design. Mercedes-Benz became renowned for its commitment to aesthetics and functionality, exemplified by models like the 540K, a masterpiece of streamlined design and engineering, which was favored by the elite and celebrities at the time. Innovation in engineering. The brand continued to push the boundaries of automotive engineering. The mid-1930s saw the introduction of the 170V, featuring independent suspension and a unitary body structure, setting new standards for ride comfort and safety. Success in motorsports. Mercedes-Benz achieved notable success in motorsports during this period. The Silver Arrows, sleek and powerful race cars, dominated Grand Prix racing, showcasing the company's technical prowess and performance capabilities. Luxury and comfort. Mercedes-Benz solidified its reputation for luxury and comfort with models like the 500K and 770, favored by royalty and dignitaries. These vehicles combined opulent interiors with state-of-the-art technology. Technological innovation. The company continued to introduce technological innovations. The 260D, introduced in 1936, was the world's first diesel-powered passenger car, showcasing Mercedes-Benz's commitment to fuel efficiency and technological advancement. Global expansion. Mercedes-Benz expanded its global presence, establishing itself as a prestigious and sought-after brand in markets worldwide. The company's dedication to quality and innovation contributed to its success on an international scale. While these achievements reflected the zenith of Mercedes-Benz's pre-war legacy, the onset of World War II brought challenges and changes to the company's trajectory as it navigated the complexities of wartime economy. And this is where the real story begins. Forced labor. During World War II, the Nazi regime subjected millions of people, both Jews and other victim groups, to forced labor under brutal conditions. From the establishment of the first Nazi concentration camps and detention facilities in the winter of 1933, forced labor, often pointless, humiliating, and imposed without proper equipment, clothing, nourishment, or rest, formed a core part of the concentration camp regimen. As the Nazis increasingly exploited the forced labor of so-called enemies of the state for economic gain and to meet desperate labor shortages, many German companies, including Mercedes-Benz, participated and profited from the ghastly practice. Forced laborers consisting of prisoners of war and civilians from occupied territories were subjected to deplorable conditions within Mercedes-Benz factories. These individuals endured grueling work hours, inadequate living conditions, and mistreatment at the hands of their captors. The stark contrast between the luxury vehicles produced by Mercedes-Benz and the suffering of those who contributed to their production casts a chilling shadow over the company's history. The following is an excerpt directly quoted from the Mercedes-Benz website.
These prisoners of war, abducted civilians and detainees from concentration camps were housed close to the plants. Forced laborers from Western Europe lived in guest houses, private accommodation or schools. Workers from Eastern Europe and prisoners of war were interned in barrack camps with poor, prison-like conditions. Concentration camp detainees were monitored by the SS under inhumane conditions. They were loaned out to companies in exchange for money. In 1944, almost half of Daimler-Benz's 63,610 Daimler-Benz employees were civilian forced laborers, prisoners of war, or concentration camp detainees.
Over half of their labor force. Now, the website goes on to excuse the actions, insinuating that the increasing power, pressure, and demand of the Nazi Party essentially forced them to use forced laborers. But simultaneously, they contradict this claim with the following message, also available on the Mercedes-Benz website.
Today, it is equally well documented that the automobile companies benefited to an extraordinary extent from the Nazi government's armament and transportation policy. In the case of the company then known as Daimler-Benz AG, this benefit was enhanced by the fact that Hitler himself had a pronounced preference for cars with the Mercedes star, even before he became the Reichskanzler. It is well known that he traveled chauffeured in a Benz as far back as 1923, and that starting in 1931, his regular vehicle was the biggest Mercedes model, a 770. Today we know that even before he seized power, he was being given dealer discounts on his cars, and that continued later on. This was obviously a good business deal for both sides. There is no doubt that the company gloried in the fact that their vehicles therefore played a featured role at public events and in weekly newsreels.
So without a doubt, Mercedes contributed immensely to the German war industry and profited on the spoils of war. Let's take a closer look at the arsenal of war machines that Mercedes-Benz produced for Germany during World War II. Military vehicles. Mercedes-Benz manufactured a range of military vehicles including trucks, staff cars, and ambulances to support the transportation and logistics needs of the German armed forces. Armored vehicles. The company was involved in the production of armored vehicles such as armored cars and personal carriers, which were used on the battlefield for reconnaissance and troop transport. Aircraft engines. Mercedes-Benz produced aircraft engines including the well-known Daimler-Benz DB601 and DB605 engines. These engines were used in various German fighter aircraft such as the Messerschmitt Bf-101 and the Focke-Wulf FW-190. Tanks. While Mercedes-Benz was not a primary manufacturer of tanks, it contributed to tank production as part of the larger German war industry. Components for tanks and other military vehicles were produced in collaborations with other companies. In addition, ammunitions, pistols, hand grenades, gun barrels, and parts for military aircrafts were produced in Daimler-Benz plants, such as those in Sindelfingen, Gaggenau, and Stuttgart unter Türkheim. The production of replacement parts and the repair of military vehicles and engines also gained in importance. In the aftermath of World War II, as part of the denazification process, German companies faced scrutiny for their wartime activities. Mercedes-Benz has, to its credit, acknowledged its historical connection to forced labor and has expressed remorse for the exploitation that occurred during that time. However, it's essential that we approach such acknowledgments with a critical eye. While companies like Mercedes-Benz have taken steps to address their past, including participating in compensation programs for former forced laborers, the ethical stain of wartime exploitation reputation cannot be fully erased. The use of forced labor raises profound questions about corporate responsibility, ethical conduct, and the lasting impact of historical injustices. Today, Mercedes-Benz is a global icon, recognized for its commitment to innovation, safety, and luxury. The brand's history reflects the evolution of the automotive industry and its impact on transportation worldwide. However, when you dive into the historical reality, a stark and unsettling contrast emerges. Behind the polished facade of elegance and sophistication lies a darker truth: the exploitation of forced laborers who, in their distressing circumstances, were instrumental in bringing these luxury vehicles to life. The juxtaposition of Mercedes-Benz's luxury vehicles with the human suffering that occurred within its production processes during World War II creates a haunting narrative. On one hand, you got the epitome of automotive craftsmanship, engineering excellence, and opulence. These vehicles, symbols of status and affluence, are associated with comfort and privilege, but the very hands that crafted the sleek lines and meticulously designed interiors of Mercedes-Benz cars were often those of individuals living in squalor and subjected to inhumane conditions. This contrast underscores not only the historical sins of a specific company, but also prompts broader reflections on the ethical responsibilities of industries that profit from extravagance. It then challenges us to consider the human cost hidden behind the glossy veneer of luxury goods. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated and it helps us create more content for you. Thanks for watching.